Greg, tell us a little bit about the importance. I mean, everybody here is probably wondering if we build it, will they come? Right? The analytics side of things, and where are we going with the measurement side of things to make sure that we're getting a true ROI analysis out of the video that we put on these sites. And maybe you could also cite a couple examples of some people who have been particularly successful and why.
So analytics as a discipline, as part of a video strategy, is very important, obviously, because if you don't measure your performance, you don't know if your investments are in the right places, and if you're building on success, and which elements of your video strategy are contributing to your success. So yeah, measuring is super important. So what types of things do people measure? Well, lots of stuff that pertains to the actual performance or viewing behavior. That's one aspect of analytics. So which videos are watched the most and which ones are watched for the longest amount of time, and at what second do percentages of the audience drop off, and how much of your audience do you keep for 30 seconds versus 45 versus how many watch the whole thing. And that's important because that can tell you a lot about your audience behavior and their preferences. That's not all people are measuring, right? Also, folks are measuring, especially as more video can be found through search. Okay, which search terms are people using to find your video? That can be very useful in terms of your inbound marketing strategy. So also, if they're finding your video through a social referral, which social media is referring video views? Is it Facebook? Is it MySpace? Is it any type of social media? So people are looking, okay, where's my audience coming from? How are they finding my video in terms of search? How are they being referred? And also, if you happen to be syndicating and your video is watched on more than one web property beyond your own web property, where are the videos being viewed off my property? And is that off-site viewing driving traffic back to my site? And can I measure that? And the answer is yes. You can measure all that stuff. And so, so a lot of very interesting business questions can be answered. Not just which videos are being watched the most, but also all those other aspects. So the companies that are performing really well and are getting great results from their video strategy are basically, in a nutshell, they're measuring everything, and they're really making sure they're constantly stacking performance against their objectives, and they're tweaking and optimizing all the time.
Can you cite an example of a company that is really modified their strategy based on what they came up with from an analytical kind of thing? You have so many customers that are out there. It's probably pick one, but maybe there's one that could be an interesting analogy in terms of how they modified their programming strategy based on the fact that they were doing it one way and decided to do it another way. Yeah,
there's a couple probably relevant examples I could cite. One has to do with search. So if you have, if your videos, you're looking at how your videos are being discovered in your analytics suite or in your video platform analytics, and you're seeing that, in fact, your video search performance is not great. So we've had customers take a look at that and then re-implement how they're actually implementing video in terms of search engine optimization, and how are they building sitemaps that are video aware? How are they exposing metadata that's associated with that video? How are they exposing categories and things that are relevant to finding a video of interest? And you'll find as those people, one particular company, a publisher up in Canada, Canoe, before they reevaluated this, they had on average 148 video titles were found through simple search. And after they went through their refactoring and improved their SEO practices for video, they had over 4,800 videos found in search, and that was their whole library. Wow. So that's a huge improvement. And that's just by.
That's why it's so critical.
Yeah, and that came to them through metrics, but at the same time, it was an implementation change where they really had to make their implementation of video more discoverable, and because video SEO is different from text SEO. There are lots of special things you have to do that are slightly different, and if you don't do them in your implementation, or you don't consider discoverability, you're not going to see that performance like Canoe, right?
Yeah.